Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. I hope you had an amazing weekend. We had some awesome weather, so I hope you took advantage of it. Before we get started, before we get started, today is field day. That's why we have the cool background. This is the stadium at the Cape Henlopen High School if you've never been. So make sure as we start our math lesson for today, you have something to write with and something to write on. And once you have that stuff, let's get going. So let's quickly review when we were multiplying by 0 and 1/10 and 0 and 100th. If we had 65 times 0 and 1/10, right, we talked about how it got smaller. And we knew to move it back one place value because there was one place value behind it here. So we could think about it like 65 times 1 was 65, right? And then because there's one place value behind it, we have to move our answer back one place value. So we get 6 and 5/10. Now, same thing here. If we did 65 times 100th, right, it's still 65 times 1, okay, so we'd still get 65, but we move back two place values now because there's two jumps we make here, right, so it'd be 0 and 65/100ths. Okay, so we're going to extend that today. I want you to pause the video and try 3 times 0 and 3/10. All right, so I'm going to go through this just like I did the last one. I'm going to bump this out one time, right? That's going to turn my problem into 3 times 3, right? I got rid of all decimals, which is 9, okay? But because I bumped out once, I now have to come back in once. So my answer would be 0 and 9/10, okay? So go ahead and try these two. Sorry. So solve both of them, pause your video, and then when you're ready, come on back. So again, I'm going to figure out how many jumps I have to make. So I have to make one here, and that's it. To turn my problem into 12 times 6, which I know is 72. But because I came out one time, I have to move in one time. So my answer would be 7 and 2/10. Okay? And now for this one, again, I bump out once, make it 4 times 12, which is 48. But because I came out once, I have to come in once. Okay, so it would be 4 and 8/10. So now try this one. 7 times 0 and 2/100ths. So it's the same idea, right? But I don't pop out once, I pop out twice. So I jump 2 times. So now it's just 7 times 2, which is 14. But because I jumped out twice, I have to move my answer back in twice. So it'd be 0 and 14/100ths. So go try this one first. Pause your video, solve it, and then come on back. So if we have 5 times 0 and 12/100ths, right? Again, same thing I've been doing. I pop out twice here, right? I want to get rid of the decimal and just make it whole numbers. So that'll turn it into 5 times 12. And then 5 times 12 is 60. But I made 2 jumps out, so I have to move back 2 place values. And now I've got 0.60, 0 and 60/100ths, or 0 and 6/10ths. So here's a little challenging one. I want you to try this one. 1 and 3/10ths times 0 and 6/10ths. Pause your video, solve it, and then when you're ready, come back. So for this one, I have to jump out once here and once here. And that turns my problem into 13 times 6. Now 13 times 6 I do not know off the top of my head, so I'm going to solve it off on the side. 6 times 3 is 18. Drop the 8, carry the 1. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Oh, all right, so it's 78. Right? Now, here's where a lot of people get tripped up. How many place values do I need to move back? Now, I'm thinking what a lot of you did was you moved one place value back. And that's on the right track. But it's how many place values did I move total? So I moved once here, and I moved twice here. So I've got to move back a total of 2 place values. Okay? And think about it. Like, think about what makes sense. I've got 1.3 times 0.6. So I've got 1 3/10 times less than a whole. If I had 7.8 as my answer, it wouldn't make sense, because to get 1.3, I would have to multiply that by like around 7 to get 7.8, but I'm only multiplying by 0.6. So that would not help us, okay? That would not make logical sense. But 0.78 does make sense. So not only think about, okay, how many jumps am I making, but think about what makes sense, what logically makes sense for the original problem, right? So today you have an activity sheet on Schoology to do. Office hours are for 10 to 11. This is a little bit different, so if you have questions or anything like that, please feel free to come. I will be there. And my Monday small group friends. So this is half of the class from my homeroom. If you forget if you're on Monday, please reach out to me. We have small group from 1:30 to 2. Also, don't forget, it's field day. Do those field day activities, all right? I hope you have a great day. Enjoy the field day activities. Good luck with the worksheet. And let me know if you have any questions. Bye, everyone.